What's up, ladies and gents? Crazy arena game here, and one team is the big underdog. In fact, you're going to hear an 11 here in a second. There's the laugh from Official Noob, who probably saw the opponents and was like, are you freaking kidding me? Because the opponents are very well known. So, basically, we got a 4v4 arena. This isn't ranked this week. And there might be a bit of a new meta forming here because of the strategies we're about to see. So if you play Arena or, if you're just interested in some crazy games, obviously keep an eye out. So let's introduce the team real quick. That is the Underdog. On the flank, we've got Bread Pudding with Bum Sauce playing as the Bengalis. The Pocket and maybe the only player that isn't on voice chat. I assume other people are on voice chat with him because you will see Official Noob typing a lot. Anyways, Official Noob, maybe the captain, who knows, is playing as the Malay. In the green, we've got Mace's B playing as the Cumans. In the blue, we have Zololo playing as the Teutons. And all of these civs have been hand-selected to work together to beat the big foes on the other side. And this flank here, we've got Manos. Manos has been playing at a high level for like 15, 20 years. Around 50th in the world right now, plays tons of team games with Argentina and his teammates. His pocket is Lucho, another Argentinian. I talked a lot about Lucho in TTL recently. He will be promoted to Platinum, so he's top 24 in the world, at least as far as Titans League. Like 26, 2700 1v1 elo, playing as the Magyars. The pocket here, Sidewire, very solid team game elo. 1v1s, I'm not too familiar with, and I'm too lazy, so Hardy's going to put all this up on screen anyways for all the players. But Sidewire may be like the weakest player, but he's still really, really solid. And then the flank here is Mununez. His player's around 2k 1v1s, which is ahead of all the players in the other team, but also really good in team games. And he is playing Britain's flank, which is one of the better flank civs to have, because you can go for the boom, and then with the boom, you can, build up that archer mass from the flank. It's super easy to build the TCs. And then right when you receive any pressure, defensive castle, lots of arbalest. It's just really hard to stop Britons on the flank. So, I'm speeding up here, but we're going to slow down here at various points because here is the strategy. Let's actually just slow down now. This is too good to speed up through. So, part number one of this strat is we have Zololo going for a tower rush on the flank. The Teutons can fit more villagers inside of their towers, fire more arrows, and so it's one of the best tower rushing civs. This, of course, in and of its own, is not that unique to Arena. People do this quite frequently these days. But the tower rush is starting, and Manos is going to have to defend from this in some way. It's just difficult because if you build a counter tower against the Teutons, they can shoot your tower down. The other thing I'll say about Blue is breaking through the gate, which does take longer than breaking through a wall, but also breaking through one tile of wall is risky because the opponent could maybe sneak out and wall behind, and then all your hard work is basically wasted. So this guarantees you're going to break through. But next to this, like right behind this, which Manos doesn't see, is a siege workshop from green. So normally when you see Cuman's pocket, you're thinking that the Cuman player is going to go 2 TCs in the Feudal Age. But the other thing Cumans can do is go for a siege workshop in the Feudal Age. So, like, this is crazy. Like, it's already a Teuton tower rush, and there's also going to be Rams as well. So Manos is really going to have to work hard here. Look at all the scouts, by the way. All, like, we're going to call it the pro team. The pro team's got all their scouts here to support the tower rush player. This is actually so sick. I love that. I doubt they were even on voice chat. I mean, maybe Manos and Lucho were. But everyone just kind of knows this is where we need to be. But no one was expecting the Ram. So, what do you do? I mean, you got to attack that in some way and try and make it messy. And now, I think Green went a little too crazy there. Green, I think you just got to back up. Wait till you have a couple more Rams. But anyways, the chaos is starting. Blue hasn't really progressed, but they're obviously building up towards something. Now, what I didn't talk about is Official Noob is going Feudal Boom, which you see more so in 1v1s these days. But basically, when super fast Feudal, and you have a really good eco on the back of this. Malay advance faster, so you get to Feudal, get the eco upgrades faster. And then by the time you make it to Castle Age, which can still be a really solid time, you'll have eco to do a lot. But traditionally pocket or middle positions are always going to be going for the boom. So over here, for example, the pocket player Sidewire is going to boom. Here you got Lucha, they're going to boom. You're really far away from the action. But spoilers, but like the plan is not to boom. They're not going to boom against these guys because if they wait, the better teams, even with them in some way, the better team's just going to beat them. So they're sending it. And Monos has tried to go archers with his tower. The tower now goes down. The Rams are still here, and blue wisely, I think, going to place another tower. It's pretty messy. There's a lot happening here, repairing the allies' Rams and everything. But if this tower completes and the Rams stay alive, Monos could have some problems. And just think about it from Monos' perspective. You just must be so annoyed at the moment. They're still doing a really good job, though. Like, it's not immediately doing the damage that blue and green would have wanted. A couple Rams have gone down. But this could snowball out of hand fast. The stone is still forward. The berries are still forward. The range could go down. And so I want to direct your attention to this side now. So bread pudding with bum sauce, which is an amazing name, by the way, is going to drop monasteries now. And a siege workshop, which is pretty wild. Now, I don't know if yeah, okay, so there's a signal. I think Mununez, this makes me think they're actually on voice chat because he's signaling multiple times, almost like he's saying, check here, do this, do that. And knowing Mununez, he likes to really coordinate and shout out good game plan. But they see the siege workshop. So they're like, okay, so he's going to push me. Now, what you're going to see from Mununez, most likely in this situation, if he thinks it's going to be siege, he's going to add his own siege. So he's already doing that. And we'll also see him shift to stone. So he's gone for the 3 TCs. He's got a really good eco. Eventually, you're going to see a shift to stone here for a defensive castle on the front. But what's coming behind this is the next surprise in this game. We actually have a castle from Official Noob. And I love this. He says, don't act suspicious. Now, I think he's saying don't act suspicious because they don't want them to know the siege and the monks are coming. The other team already knows the siege and the monks are coming. But what else is coming is karambit spam. So I don't know if yellow notices this or what. Maybe yellow wasn't paying attention. But the karambit spam is coming. They are going to try and kill red, basically, as quickly as possible. And they're trying to kill both flanks off as quickly as possible because, well, the pockets are going to boom, right? So this is what's fun about Team Game Arena. 1v1 Arena can have its charm, but Team Game Arena, you could do some crazy things. There are the monks. Mununez was definitely expecting this. And here come the armored elephants. So, like, Mununez does not know about the armored elephants. He just knows about the monks. And yeah, on this side, which I showed but didn't really talk about, blue lost a lot of ills. Like, blue is kind of struggling. The push didn't do much, but they did enough, I guess, to be somewhat happy with it. So, watch this from Red's perspective. He thinks he can hold for now. Maybe Redemption will come in, but he could still fall back for guard towers or something. You're thinking you've got a way to potentially hold here. Panic time for sure, because now you see Karambit warriors are there as well. So you can't just use your own siege. You can't just scramble up towers. The Karambits could be into your eco. And guys, they just keep spamming. They just keep coming. Now, throughout this game, keep an eye on the eco count and the military count. I don't know how frequently you guys look at that. But that's really important to tell the story of this game. There is a very, very nice eco lead for the favorites in the north. But the downside, of course, is the military. So if they hold against the military, they will win with eco. The monks for Bengalis have armor. And one conversion comes in. And yeah, these elephants are insanely strong against buildings. And this is going to be a big problem. Now, a lot of bad things are about to happen to Mununez, okay? He's going to be annoyed that I uploaded this. Sorry, buddy. But there's not really much that he can do. He tried his best, but he didn't know this was going to happen. There's not much more you can expect from him. The best thing you can actually do in this situation, guys, is die slowly and run away. And so I want to point this out. This is actually key in this game. The fact that Mununez immediately knows to run is actually just his experience, because he can assess the situation and he can just say, I'm dead. I know no one wants to die slowly. That's not something anyone wants to do. But that is a critical part of team games at times. And so The damage is done. He tries to re-wall to stop more units from coming in, delaying what he can, but this is going to be miserable time for him. So, you know, Underdog's pretty much about to potentially defeat, well, not fully defeat, of course, but like really take out one player. And that's good because they're eventually going to have to face the music on the other side. Monos has a pretty decent setup. Monos is going to be in Castle Age with archers. Lucho's got 4 TCs with 60-some vills. Sidewire's got 4 TCs with 60-some vills. Like, they are really far behind economically. They do have green booming on 2 TCs behind the ram push at 58 vills. But that's the only player over 50. But it's pretty fun now, right? Because the eco count is evening out now that Menunez is having such a tough time. I know it's a weird thing to compliment someone who goes down to 26 vills. But this is just a crazy strat, man. No one's expecting this. And especially, like, yeah, I mean, as a player who's around the elo of the favorites, right? It's just like, you're just like, okay, they can send pressure. We can defend from it for long enough and then beat them with superior eco. No, you can't. Not this. No, you cannot. Those TCs are going down. And that's 15 vills that need to try and run away. Now, eventually there's going to be a point where they need to make a decision on what they do. Look at that. Menunez actually deletes the vills, so he doesn't donate any vills to Gray. He's now down to 8 vills. But yeah, now Yellow's got to know this is coming. There's nothing left here to really take. Gray could stick around and destroy houses or convert houses or something. But they've got to apply pressure to the next person. So they're going to swing this pressure over. By the way, on this side, I just want to point out, green is dropping stables. So green's still going to push. Green's going for capped ram now in Castle Age. It wants to push all this back. So they're still not stopping with the pressure. And then, obviously, we got the main push coming over here. Teal has since flexed into TCs as well. So, like, Teal's had a really nice game. Down 20 or 30 vills compared to some of the others. But still a really nice game. But what would you guys be thinking if you're Italians? You'd probably be thinking, well, if you get to Imp, you can make condos. Condos should be fairly decent against Karambits. Like, if you stay in Castle Age, your options are somewhat limited. Genoese Crossbow wouldn't make sense. So, defensive castle. Walls are up. And here comes the pressure. One of the strongest parts of this, guys, is the armored elephants are insanely fast at taking down buildings. Gurjara elephants are actually even stronger, but Gurjaras don't have the monks. And so Sidewire, I think if you would have asked Sidewire 45 seconds ago, he would have said, I'm fine. If you were to ask him now, he'd say, I think I'm fine. And then here he's like, I don't know if I'm fine anymore. Doing all the right things, by the way. Mangonel behind the castle to hit the rams. Quick wall next to the castle. Support's coming here from Lucho, but you see this off screen. Green is coming over, which no one was expecting. And Lucho's Cav Archer's path, I think he wanted to go beyond. It opens the gate, and now the Lancers are here. And Yellow's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Monos actually sends Sidewire Stone right now to help with repairs. I think, you know, that was certainly going to be needed. But now there's no repair villagers. The Mangonel is going to be sniped as well. Green is coming here with the Rams. We've got 3 players all focused on Yellow now. And they're simply allowing Blue to just come back into the game economically. And so Yellow was supposed to have this time to boom or prepare, you know, the condos. And even Monos has to come over to support now. Now, Cav Archers will have imp upgrades. Gabetto are really good against Rams. They will inevitably clear this. But the damage is being done. The TC's gone down. This is obviously really messy for Yellow's eco. Poor Menunez is trying to boom here in safety. He just can't get away from these Karambits. And these Rams and Lancers and Elephants are just blocking the way. They have to be dealt with first. And so Yellow now down to 75 ills, which is well behind where he would have wanted to be. The efficiency's completely out the window. And then he's making condos, a unit that's going to take some time to advance out across the map and then run into walls. And so Official Noob says we did our damage to the team, and that's absolutely right. At this stage, and this is what underdogs can lack sometimes, you got to recognize that, and then you got to take your foot off the gas. They've been all gas, no brakes this whole game. Now they need to brace themselves because they have angered the bad guys, okay? Lucho is Magyars with heavy Cav Archer on the way and 130 Vils. And they now know as well, like, Lucho, Monos, and Sidewire, they know they've got to do some pretty considerable damage in response right away. And unfortunately for Gray is not prepared for this, by the way. The Cav Archers are on the way. Gray was just going monks and elephants. Gray can't find an easy response to that. And here goes Official Noob. Now, Official Noob doesn't have much army to protect this at all. Honestly, very fortunate for Teal. If these Cav Archers continue, that castle gets denied. And then they have even bigger problems. Now, the condos are on the way. We shouldn't forget that on the left side, we've got some activity. I think Mono's spotted the Rams coming in. There's a Petard chasing the Ram, which is pretty hilarious. And Cav Archers from Lucho are also here in support as well. So clearly they noticed something was up. Condos are attacking the wall, and so are these Cav Archers, which aren't fully upgraded yet. And here are the Gebetto as well. And Menunez for the favorites. Menunez is in reboom mode. Needs to find space for TCs. Yellow's actually gone in here just to clear up some of these buildings. Menunez is re-walling. He's going to want to add TCs in his base again. Gray probably panicking massively right now, and there's a lot happening. There's even text flying in off the screen, so maybe we can remove market events now. But here comes Lucha with a castle. Gray can't stop that. The army's going to be through. I love that Gray went for fortified wall here, because obviously there's no response for this army right now. And they're hoping that Teal is going to have a response. And then Green. Green's been such an interesting figure in this game. I think like in a normal game, it's kind of two separate 2v2s on either side. And Green keeps coming over to the right side to help. And Green's got those Step Lancers. Now, they're not elite. They're up against Magyar Cav Archers that now have full upgrades. It's going to be tough. But the Step Lancers could stop the castle. And if the castle gets stopped, that's a problem, and it does. 95% on the castle. And now these Cav Archers are kind of trapped in here. The thing is, the condos in the choke point and just the choke point itself is actually helping the CA. The CA... Actually, they're not fully upgraded yet. I was wrong. Or am I... No, I think they're still missing an upgrade. It should be 7+5 with recurve bow. But, I mean, with 7+4, it's still insane. But Arbalest are coming over from Teal as well. That was good support from Green. And Lucho's got another Vil coming in just to hope to deny that, build that castle. That's not going to happen with Gray having his own castle. And so they weren't able to do enough there. Still, some potential on this left-hand side. I keep kind of waiting for Monos and Lucho to group up and try and kill Blue. Blue has also gone for fortified walls, bracing themselves. They know the pressure is going to come. But this is essentially 4v3 right now, right? But the 4 struggling against the 3 for the time being. Armor needs to come in for Official Noob. That's on the way. Once that is in, the skirms and the arbs will be much stronger. And Lucho just probably wondering which side to focus on right now. Green is not in the Imperial Age yet. Green will eventually get there. Blue is there, though, and Blue's going Halb, which could be good in conjunction with Onager. They need some range on this side. If you go full melee, you could have some problems. But Gray did a good job in defense. Obviously, received a lot of support. I'd really like to see... Oh, wow, he's doing it. I was going to say, I'd really like to see Gray wall this. Too many people don't wall the castle foundation. You never know what's going to happen there. And they're going to go right back to hit Yellow, who we haven't seen in a while. Now, I feel for Yellow because there is definitely a unit comp issue here. The opposing civilizations are not really relying heavily on Cav. So going for Genoese Crossbowmen doesn't flow perfectly. Condos made sense with the timing in Imp. But now against Arbalest and Elephant, Kondo might struggle. And Yellow still has to rebound economically a little bit. So the condo's disappearing off the map pretty quickly. Gray still needs some bigger upgrades for these elephants, but they're tanky enough for the time being. And still no heavy progress on this side from Lucho and from Manos, but Manos is building a bunch of stables and is about to be ready. Still just, you know, the clock's kind of ticking. Menunez could come back in the game. It's been tough for him. I mean, he did eventually escape back into his base and is adding TCs, but that took a really long time. And now this team is not planning on giving them time. And again, Green just keeps coming over here. In fact, all 4 players are actually on the way. I think Blue used guard on one of Green's calves there, just so Blue, he doesn't have to pay attention to it. You know, the halves will just follow. And yeah, they're going right underneath the castle, but whatever. It's pressure. A forward castle now from Gray. Menunez is trying to refortify this area, but this is all happening way too quickly for them. And anything Yellow seems to send out isn't working. Now he's trying to switch into Genoese crossbowmen. The Cav Archers are strong for Lucho, but he's only 1 man. And now you've got Manos knocking on the door, and I think this is the critical point in this game. If Blue can hold, if Blue and Green can hold, they're probably fine. If they don't hold, though, this could be disastrous. I mean, Blue has so little army at home, and is only, like, 2 gates away from losing all that eco. At least they're pushing over here. Again, it is essentially just Lucho right now on this side. He does have the 7+5 attack and the 4+4 range now, so recurve bow is in. But is 30 Cav Archers enough? Is 40 Cav Archers enough against 20 elephants, 30 skirms, 20 arbalests, and now bombard towers, and now trebs? Or some Cavalier that got into the back. Again, poor Menunez. I played team game tournaments with him. Great player. He's not going to be very happy that this particular team game hits YouTube. So Menunez, feel free to send me a message and say how dare you or something. I would totally understand. I would feel the same way. But this is a pretty crazy situation, man. I just need to break Yellow's castles, I think, because the Genoese crossbowmen will be really effective against these elephants soon, once the upgrades come in. And now Siege Onager on this side. Blue just kills his team. Blue just kills his team. Speaking of people that are not going to be happy with me uploading to YouTube, Blue's going to be wishing I looked at the other side there. It just kills his own teammates' units and his own units, but who cares? It's all about destruction. This is war. Sometimes innocent people have to die to get the job done. And obviously, it's so hard to control Siege Onagers, and the game is very intense. But yeah, Manos can't do it anymore. I mean, he never really made the progress he would have wanted. They've got this crazy eco. Green continues to support with paladins over here. One of the castles is now down for Yellow, and it's just absolute disbelief for the team game squad that's just so much higher rated than the rest of them. And both in 1v1s, but also team games. And I mean, it really goes to show you that in certain maps, if you have all 4 players on the same page, you can really accomplish some big things here. It's just so fun. Like, both sides had a cool plan. Blue definitely is using guard to protect a lot. Like, your halbs don't stand around like that without that command. It's not something that's used that frequently, which is why I note it. It probably could be used a little bit more. And Paladins and Hussars now raiding Manos. Whereas Manos? Well, Manos is over here trying to support. We even have Heavy Scorpion now from Lucho, who's had an incredible game. His KD is going to be sick. But unfortunately, they've lost the entire right-hand side, it feels like. Red was never able to get going properly. Yellow is never able to get going properly because of the timing of this push. And then the left side, always there, making it so Manos and Lucho have to respect it. Or at least if they don't respect it, if they don't address this, then they die. They lose ground. And Green tries to break through into Lucho's base. That won't happen. We now have a camel switch from Manos. Very strong camels. Very good against the Paladins. Not so strong against the Siege Onagers and the Halbs, though. These towers were a really important part of this push, by the way, because they have 28 kills And they can be used against those scorpions. And they just protect the siege. They protect the trebs. The elephants make it into yellow space. The GG is called. This is just as Menunez was hitting about 100 vils. But they know yellow's broken. Orange is going to be broken. And yeah, pretty big underdogs get the job done on Arena. And you just don't see that every day. So for me, it's one thing if it was just... I mean, what happened on the right-hand side obviously had a big effect on this game. But I think if green didn't support both sides at certain points, I think maybe the other team stabilizes. And it was so cool how you had like an aggression game plan from both that was very different, right? We had elephants and monks combined with the YOLO karambits, option 1, or push 1. And then we had the rams and the towers, push 2 on the left side. And the traditional arena play, if you don't have gunpowder on the flanks or good monks on the flanks, which the northern team did not, yeah, you usually just boom and adapt. Maybe you go into archers and fast imp timings. But yeah, this much pressure, 2v1, it was able to get the job done. And I just don't know, like, any suggestions? Like, you guys probably don't even know how good Menunez is at playing defensive. He plays Black Forest all the time. Great in team games, has shown that in tournaments, and it just, you know, over years and years and years. Like, I don't know how you stop this. I think the best way I could think is if you knew it was coming, you would go to stone earlier and you drop a castle behind your walls. But we already saw yellow's castle got destroyed by those elephants. So yeah, you could build a castle, maybe go longbowman to snipe the monks, but Karambit Elephant still takes down your castle. I think this is actually... Like, this might be new meta here. It's really hard for me to think of something to suggest. And guess what? Like, if you see the civs and you make a ton of knights, let's say, from, like, the yellow player makes knights and light cav, and then, you know, blue makes, red makes crossbow. Let's say they make a ton of army to address it. Well, guess what? It's arena. And if you make that army and then they don't do it, then you just made a bunch of army for nothing. And then they outboom you, and you've got to add your own rams to break through. It's like, it's kind of tricky. I think maybe this is going to be something that catches on a little bit. I'm obviously curious on your thoughts, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the game. Here's a quick look at the KD and maybe res collected. Blue, I guess, what happens when you kill... I guess if you kill your opponent... Hold on, did I go... Did blue only have that many kills? Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, a fourth of that was his own teammates' units, but hey, it boosts the KD. That's all that matters. Yeah, there's the eco. Again, you can kind of tell, like, obviously Lucho had this crazy boom, but then red and yellow really struggled. So that was a fun one. Don't have much more to add than that, guys. I had a really good time. As I've said in recent uploads, we'll be bringing new content to you guys every day. I have cool videos planned, and just back in my normal cycle of content. So I hope you guys are excited for more uploads. I'll look to the comments, see if you guys want more of this, and if so, I'll keep an eye on these four. It feels like they've got some pretty cool strategies. Anyways, thank you guys. See you in the next one.